Hello traders, in this tutorial I'm going to show you how I set up MT5. I'm going to show you how I build up my default profile, unlock the timeframes in MT5 and customize the toolbars, and unlock the hidden markets, save the profile, do backups and stuff like that. Basically how I set MT5 up, unlock all its features and get it ready for my price action swing trading, because I'm moving over to MT5 now. And Go Markets, they actually offer MT5. If your broker doesn't offer MT5, just quickly before I forget, you can go to their official website, metatrader5.com /en/download, or whatever language you need. You can find the download here. And basically what I've done is, the first thing I've done is set up my MT5 in portable mode. So when I have it in portable mode, it means it runs from the folder and not from the Windows App Data folder, and that has many advantages. I just did a video on that, so if you want to know how to run in portable mode, which I recommend you do, go and check that out. So I've already gone and set that up. We've got our Go Markets MT5 folder here. It's a fresh install, and I've set up the portable mode switch, and now we're going to get started, and I'll walk you through how I set things up. So we open up MT5. It wants us to connect. We'll do that later. So obviously you would have to put your broker details in here. You would go to accounts and you would log into your trade account. Go Markets or whatever broker you sign up with, they'll give you the login and password. So this is what you get when you open up MT5, even MT4. So many of the things I'm going to talk about here today are going to apply to MT4, but MT5 has a few other features that you won't see in MT4. So you get this ugly looking template or workspace that's, it's not going to be applicable to you most likely. They're just showing off a couple of indicators here, MACDs and stuff like that. Scrub it. I don't want to see any of that crap. So that's it. So what I want to do first is set up my default profile, because it's going to get really annoying when you open a chart and you're going to see this again, and that's not how you want your chart set up. So what you want is your chart, when you open something up, you want it to have like your template to be auto applied and set up the way you want it. So the way to do this is basically like this. First, just to make this easier for myself, I'm going to install my my tools. So I go File, Open Data folder, we go to the MQL5 folder, I open my tool pack, and we go to the MT5 folder. We drag those, we copy them in there, and they're installed. And now I open a chart and we'll get this set up. So one of the things my Battle Station tool does is auto set up the chart theme, but I'll just show you quickly how you would do that yourself. First thing you want to do is go here, I want candlesticks, and you can do that by pressing Alt and 2, Alt 3, Alt 1, 2, 3, they're going to alternate between different graphs. And then you want to go to Properties on your chart, go over to Colors, and this is where the color theme is for your chart. So you can change all these manually, set up the colors however you want. Usually you would want to go here and make sure chart on foreground is unticked, because what that does is hide the indicators behind the candlesticks, and that annoys a lot of people. So generally you want that unticked. So customize the colors how you want, but I'm going to cheat. I'm going to use my indicator. I'll probably just have to refresh. There we go. So the Battle Station, which is like my candlestick recognition tool, breakout. It's basically a charting assistant. It sends you alerts when it finds different patterns and things that we look out for. With MT5, you've got to make sure that allow DLL imports is ticked, but actually a different way, I think, you go Tools, Options, Expert Advisors. I usually go Allow Automated Trading if you're going to use my trade panel, and allow DLL imports, and put the Battle Station on. And I think it auto, once you do those global settings in the tools options, then this auto or the allow DLL imports is always ticked. So that's more convenient. My tools require a login, so I'm just going to log in and press OK. But you can see here that I've got a color theme auto setter here, so that's going to change all my chart colors for me the way the themes, to whatever theme is selected. So let me just do that. Alright, it's already logged in once, so the login will be cached. So as soon as I press this, Battle Station will fix things up for me. I've got to go back to candlesticks. That's how I want my chart. Okay, and I would like my chart with my Battle Station tool on here as well. So what you want to do, if you want your chart to be like you want it every time you open a new chart, the way to do that is you go Templates, Save Template. You can save it whatever you want, but if you save it as default, did I spell that right? I did not. So if you save it as default, then MT5 or MT4 will use that template, as you can see, each time you open a chart. So now every time I open a chart, it's got my indicator on there, my Battle Station's ready to go, and it's you don't have to screw around opening the color thing and setting it all up. So this saves you a lot of work. The issue we have here is, how do I change these timeframes, which I'm surprised that it's not on the toolbar. So that's the next thing we need to look at. So we go up here somewhere, I think click on one of the click on one of these, and you can see timeframes is unticked for whatever reason. So we'll just get our timeframes in order. So we'll go to the daily chart. We don't have much data here. It's probably going to, oh, I know why, because I haven't logged in. Let me just log in so the data comes in. Okay, so I'm going to log in. Hopefully that will, yep, we're logging in here, and we should start to see some data flowing through. You can see down here the data ticker firing off. There we go. Now we've got the data, the indicator's working properly. Timeframes, so we can switch through the timeframes. Just have to re-log into the indicator because I changed accounts, so it wanted me to re-log in. And timeframes here. So we see something very similar to MT4 here, and there's actually more timeframes in MT5, and we can unlock them. So we go and right click on this menu, and then we go to the customize option, and you can see here there's a lot more timeframes that we're going to be interested in as a swing trader, and a lot that we're not. So what I normally do is get rid of these sort of intraday scalping kind of time frames, and then we want to add, I'll probably add all these 2, 3, 6, 8 and 12. And here you want to fix up the order, so you drag these down so they're in ascending order. Okay, close. And now we've got all these different time frames up here, from 1 hour, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 12. I'm particularly interested in these guys here. See, with MT4, we only had the H4 and the daily, and we're missing out on all these potential timeframes in between. So these are very nice timeframes for a swing trader to use. So once we've got the timeframes set up, the other thing we want to do is unlock all the symbols. So the symbols over here, we've got 4. So you might open MT4 and think the broker's crap, or sorry, MT5. Think the broker's crap because they've only offered 4 markets, but there's more in here. The settings, the default settings are just really bad. So we right click and we go symbols, or you can press Control U there, as you see. And here we basically unlock everything. So this is going to show you what the broker has to offer. So with Forex, we've got different categories here. You can see the ones that are grayed out. And when they're grayed out, that basically means they're hidden from the list. So we just double click on those, and you can see they're starting to come in here. And we go through the list, and we probably want all of these. I don't know if we can mass select. I don't think we can. I don't know how to do it anyway. Oh no, we can use the space bar. So let's select all, press the space bar. Beautiful. All right, so they're all selected. Now we're starting to get some in. Exotics. A lot of these markets I don't trade. Yeah, I'll leave these for now because I don't want to clutter up my list too much, but they're there if you need them. Indices, I do have some indices that I trade. I want the, you can see there's a lot here. Go Markets actually offer a lot of markets. They're a really good broker. So that's the Dow Jones. So we've got the Europe, the UK indices here. The S&P is here. So this is the S&P. The Russell's there as well. Futures, US dollar, I want that. Chinese futures. China's starting to become a bit of a talking point. We'll see what their markets are doing. Commodities, I usually want gold and silver, and they're here. Energies, we want the UK and US, so we want those. And Go Markets actually offer cryptocurrency as well. So I definitely watch those. So we select all those and we press spacebar. Okay, so we click OK. And now we've got a huge list of markets that we can watch. So what I would do is, if you want, you can arrange these. So we've got the Euro US dollar, we can move that up and down if we need to. So we could basically create a list. Let's see if we can mass open these. So if we go, no, we can't select all of them. So we have to open them one by one. But thanks to the default profile, we just double click. Oh no, we can't do that. We have to click and drag. But thanks to the default profile, we've got everything set up the way we want. So now we can just open all these charts, okay, and everything's going to start to be set up the way we want. Okay, we want to do as least work as possible. So you start to open up the charts, and you'll see that you're not going to have anything on the chart there. It's going to say it's waiting for update. That's basically because the market's downloading the data on demand, or MT5 is downloading the data. So if I open the Australian dollar, you should start to see down the bottom here, it flickers from one to the other. You'll see a download ticker down there, and you'll know that the market's basically, MT5 is doing something. So I'm going to go through all these. You can see it came through eventually. I'll go through all these and I'll open them up, and you can see they're starting to appear down here as tabs. So I'm going to open all mine up, and I'm going to arrange them in the order that I want, and then I won't put you through the pain of that. I'll pause the video and I'll come back and I'll show you how to save the profile. Okay, so I've gone through and opened all the different markets up on my watch list here and arranged them into a way I'm familiar with. You can adjust the tabs along here to order things the way you want. I usually put the more important markets up the front, all the US dollar pairs, then we move into gold, silver, some of the major crosses, and then into the yens, and so on and so on. You can do this however you want. And basically I've gone and put them all on the daily chart because the battle station tool that I made, it does passive scanning on the other time frame. So you can see here it's going to scan the 12 hour, 8 hour, 6 hour, 4 hour, while it's also on the daily. So it's going to send me alerts when things pop up. To get those alerts set up, if you are using my tool, you have to go Tools Options, Notifications, and here we have to enable push notifications. And I disable this notify on trade transactions. I think what it does is it sends you alerts when your trade gets triggered or stopped out or hits target, stuff like that. So what I do here is I have to go to my Metatrader app on my phone, and I have to enter in the number here and then press OK. I'll do that later. Why is it frozen? No, there we go. Now, the one other thing I customize is up here on the toolbars again, which I forgot to show you. Go into these toolbars, click customize, and I do it on this section instead, because the toolbars are sort of segmented up into different parts. So we want to go to this one, and oops, show that again. Customize with the right click on the mouse. And here we want to just get rid of all the crap that I don't use and put things in that I do use, which aren't here. So available buttons, we go in. Two things I use are the rectangle and the triangle. And we go here, I don't use this channel. The arrows I don't use, and the rest I do. And if you actually use any of these others here, there's other little features inside that you might want to check out. They're all in here. You can add them onto your toolbar, all the drawing features and stuff like that. So I go close, and the reason I use this is because my battle station charting assistant here, when I draw rectangles and stuff like that to highlight consolidation, it highlights the candle that has broken that consolidation that I've highlighted. But as you can see here, I don't like this red outline, so we're gonna go to properties. I usually do some sort of like creamy white color. something white smoke, we'll try that. And I think I'll do draw as background because I don't want the square to basically go over the top of the candles. And this fill option here is I also like to just select that. So you can see here now I've got a tool that I can highlight consolidation. As you can see, as I adjust it, the battle station basically marks out the candles that broke out of that. So that's one of the techniques I use. So when a candle does break out of the consolidation, you get the alert and everything. So that's the whole point of it. The triangle, you do the same thing. The annoying thing with MT5 here is that it only lets you plot 2 and then you got to adjust the other one out. Whereas MT4, you plot the 3. But you just do the same thing here. Go to properties. We'll draw as background. We'll get that white smoke happening. Where was that? There it is. We want it to fill. Okay, and that's all sweet. That's set up. It's not highlighting any breakouts. I don't think it's found any. There we go. If we do that. Now the thing is, we do that once, and then afterwards it should automatically default. Okay, so there we go. So we only have to do it once. Okay, so once you've got everything set up the way you want, you've got your whole environment set up, everything's perfect. You don't want to have to do this again, trust me. We go to File, and then we go to Profile, and we want to Save As. I think that's going to save everything. So if I had gone through and, like, for example, I haven't marked out my levels yet. I'm going to have to do that later. The levels I usually like to have as a black color, so make sure we do that now. So we have our level here. All the other charts are bare. I'm going to save a profile. And, oops, we're going to just call this price action. We'll just call it price action main here. And click OK. So now what that does is, let's say we go to another profile. Let's have a look at one of these presets here. We've got a Euro preset. That's absolutely useless. So if we load our profile back up, our price action main, we've got a lot of charts to open, and plus it's loading the indicator as well, so it's not as quick. You can see here it restores everything back the way we had it. Okay, now what I also recommend you do is save it twice. The reason is sometimes when a tool or something happens with MT4 or 5, it crashes, it can wreck your current profile. Sometimes you can't restore it. So I recommend doing a backup of a backup. So we'll just call this price action backup. Okay, because let's say our price action main profile gets wrecked or corrupted in some way, we can fall back to our price action backup if we need to. So just make sure, because when you save a profile, it actually selects that as your current profile. So we don't want to do that. We want to go back to price action main and make sure we're working with that one and leave the backup as is. And if you need to update your profiles, so when I go through and mark all my levels out and all the technical aspects of all the charts, features and trend lines and stuff and such there, I can go back here just to save profile again, and just to update it, we might even be able to select it here. We'll do that. It should ask you if you want to overwrite. We'll just say yes. So basically you can update it that way. And that is basically how I set up MT5. Do I have anything else on my notes here? So we've set up the default profile. We've customized the toolbars up here to be more suitable to the way we want. We've basically unlocked all the hidden markets in the market watch here. We've added them all down the bottom here to the way we want. And now I'm just basically going to show you one more thing. I did show it in my last video, but just as a reminder here, what I normally do is once I set up everything the way I want, I'm going to go through, do all my levels, save the profile again, and then even further, I'm going to do another backup. When you're running in portable mode, so we'll close this down. So we can actually back up the entire MT5 install in portable mode just by going here. See, I've already done it in the previous video, but we go to our portable folder. That's the key. It must be running in portable. You can't just do this on a standard installation. So go check out my video on how to turn MT4 or MT5 into portable mode. Then you go to the portable folder, or where the folder is that you've made portable, and you just go right click, send to compressed folder. It's going to compress, and this is going to take a little bit longer now because we've actually downloaded all that data, and it's going to be actually saving all that data as well. But once we compress it all into a folder, that's going to be a nice little zip folder backup that we can also go back to and basically restore any broken installations, or copy it to another computer and run it off a USB. You can do whatever you want with it. So we have our zip folder here, and I just named it as backup. And trust me, the reason I go and do these backups is because I only want to set up these charts once. You know, trust me, you probably agree with me here. When something happens to your MT4 or 5, you don't want to go back through, open all your charts, all your settings, do all your levels again. And it's just, yeah, you just only want to do that once. So I do it once. I'm doing it now because I'm installing MT5 and getting that on board, and now I don't have to do it again. So that's basically that's getting MT5 set up. You can apply most of this stuff to MT4 as well. It's just that MT5 has, I'm going to want to hit save password when I put that back in as well, so that doesn't pop up every time. So yeah, basically this is how I'm setting up MT5. Just another thing here I noticed, if you're using the trade panel or any kind of EA, it won't work. It won't be able to open trades unless that's selected in. So you'd have to select that in. My tools give you a warning if that's not pressed, and it doesn't have permission. It's basically giving you permission, the tool's permission, sorry, to open trades. And that's it. That's how I set up MT5. Hopefully this is helpful, and I'll see you in the next video.